So today, as you see, and if you're sitting here, you're probably very interested to know how to actually reach certain requirements of solar on our buildings at zero investment. And for me, when I speak about solar, usually people think about one before. Usually people think about solar parks that are basically outside of our city or solar potentially being on the rooftops of our buildings. But this is not the only space where we can actually place solar. And this is why I created a company called We Do Solar, which is basically focusing on vertical solar solutions, and especially for balconies. I believe that every single person that is out there, doesn't matter if they own their apartments or if they're a renter, should be able to have access to renewable energy and should be able to install it. And for sure, if you're in the real estate, you know that solar is becoming mandatory from 2023. If you didn't know, this is something that is actually going to happen. And this is when we speak about, solar being on potentially on the rooftops. And I think a lot of the real estate people or developers that I have been speaking to, they are definitely kind of freaking out, basically because not everyone has the capacity to actually put solar on their roof. Some might not have the technical possibilities to put solar on the roof, or they just don't have the licenses to actually do so. So of course, when we speak about solar and renewable energy, it's all tied to the climate change. It is all tied to the fact that we have very big geopolitical disasters in the world. And I'm actually originally from Ukraine, so this is something that is very close to my heart. And I understand that the renewable energy industry needs to strive, and that this transition needs to happen much, much sooner. That's for sure. And when I was kind of coming up with the idea of the company, I was searching for different pictures on the net and to see what people are like with solar. Like, are they proud? Do they live in communities that has solar? And I do believe that it's very contagious, when you're living in a community that has installed solar, whether it's on the rooftop or somewhere else. And usually all the ads and everything, would show houses like this with rooftop solar. And these houses would have very happy families standing next to them, proud that they're doing something for the environment, but also, let's say, generating their own energy. So this generating independence in terms of energy. We hardly ever see pictures like this, let's be honest. And this is simply because, in that sense, we're very much disconnected also from the energy industry. And if we, look at different solutions, this is exactly the solution that I believe will strive in the cities, exactly where we need it and where the CO2 actually needs to be reduced. So my company focuses on balcony solar. It's a smart balcony solar solution, which basically consists of 8 solar panels. And every single country has its own different legislation. So for example, for Germany, this is 600 watt of energy that you can install by yourself. For me, it was very important to know that every single person, can get this package in their household and can actually install it without being, let's say, an engineer or an electrician. And such a set has like a micro inverter connected to it, which basically transitions the solar energy into our grid energy. And in our households, grid energy has actually less push or less power than the solar energy. So all the solar energy would be actually used first in our households. And the very cool thing is that it works from a normal power plug. So there's no technical things that are unclear in terms of installation. And you also get a very nice companion app that would tell you how much energy you're generating, so basically how much money you're also saving on your energy bills, and how much CO2 you're potentially also saving. And we do it in a very, meaningful way, because actually a lot of people that I speak to, they don't really know how much they're paying for their energy bills. They don't know how much the kilowatt hour actually costs. And if you look at prices last year and prices today, they actually more than doubled. Just to kind of give you an example, so for example, you get the solar set, you install it on your balcony, and the set is actually clapped onto your balcony with specific weatherproof straps. So for real estate, it's quite nice because you will be able to remove it at any time. Especially like if you're moving houses or like apartments, or if you don't have the license to actually put something permanent on the house that is of an old age. You would put it basically in the, thank you, you put it in the normal power plug, and this would power all of your household devices, especially, you know, a lot of devices that are on standby, and this is something that we don't really see, but actually standby power takes quite a lot of energy from our households. On average, such a device or such a small device that you can install can reduce up to 25% of your electricity bill, which is quite nice. And it actually reduces up to 600 kilograms of CO2, which is also not something that is small. That's 1,000 square meters of forest, if you think about it, on a yearly basis, just from one household. And it can also equal to, let's say, a 4,000-kilometer car ride, which is also a nice indicator. Now, about balcony solar as a service, because I do believe that there is a way to introduce solar into our households at zero cost. And for you, for example, as a developer, if you're in the real estate industry, it is possible, because if solar is a rental model, you can introduce it into your rental agreements of your renters. This is one. And the amount that, let's say, the renter will be paying will always be much smaller than the amount that they're actually saving on the electricity bill. So in that sense, you're actually doing it free of charge. And I do hope to see way more pictures like this, where people are proud, standing in front of their balconies, saying that, you know, they have also energy independence in their households, even though they're renters. And I do want to kind of remind you that if you are in this industry, that you totally have the power to create this bond between the people and the energy that is powering their life on every single day. And you definitely have the power to stop climate change. Thank you.
Think big.